Good morning, students. Our chapter number second, microorganisms, friend and foe, is going on. In that, we learn about the definition of microorganisms, types of microorganisms, where they live, use of microorganisms in bakery products, alcohol and wine production, medicinal use of microorganisms, and work of vaccine in human body. Today, we will see the remaining part of this chapter. Now, our next point is how the microorganisms are helpful to increase soil fertility. Now in the 7th standard we learn that some bacteria are present in the soil which useful for the fixation nitrogen, which convert the nitrogen into the solution form, into the soluble form, and which will be present in the soil, and that can be absorbed by the roots. Here some bacteria and blue green algae are able to fix nitrogen from the atmosphere to enrich the soil with nitrogen and increase its fertility. And the name was rhizobium. The name of the bacteria is rhizobium, which is present in the soil. These microbes are commonly called as biological nitrogen fixers. Now the next, here two diagrams are given. The nitrogen fixation of blue green algae. Here two diagrams are given, nitrogen fixation. Now the next point and most important point is cleaning the environment. Bojo and Paheli had observed the school gardener making manure. Now we are aware about that, what is the meaning of manure and what is the meaning of fertilizer. We'll already learning the first chapter. Along with their friends, they collect wastage of plants, vegetables, and fruits from the nearby houses and gardens. They put them in a pit meant for waste disposal. After some time, it decomposed and got converted into the manure. And Bojo and Paheli wanted to know how this could happen. Now you remember that in a 7th standard one chapter is there, Forest Our Lifeline. In that, this all concept will be mentioned already, how the microorganisms are helpful for cleaning up our environment. Here one activity was mentioned there. We have see the activity 2.5. Take two pots and fill each pot half with soil. We have to take two pots and each pot we have to put half soil, and then mark them for two pots A and B. Put plant waste in pot A and things like polythene bags, empty glass bottles, and broken plastic toys in pot B. Put the pot aside and observe them for 3 to 4 weeks. Now we have to put this pot, we have to take two pots, then mark A and B, and we have to put soil, and after that we have to put in pot A plant waste, and in pot B polythene bags, empty glass bottles, and broken plastic toys we have to put in a pot B, and we have to observe it for 3 to 4 weeks. And after that, after 3 to 4 weeks, one question will be arise, any difference we find any difference in between the two contents which is present in two pots? If yes, then what is the difference? We found that in a pot A, the plant waste will be decomposed and will be disappear after some time. And how this could be happen? The plant waste has been converted into manure by the action of microbes which is present in the soil, and the nutrients released in the process could be used by the plant again. And in this process, which nutrients are released, that nutrients can be used by the plant again. You remember that in a 7th standard when history Forest Our Lifeline, in that chapter, that in that they told in forest there is a lot of humus. Why? Suppose any plant product or any animal product will be died, that time what will happen? It will be lying on the ground, and which bacteria are present in the soil that converted these material into the humus content, and this humus can be absorbed by the plant, and again this recycle process will be going on. This process will be going on. Now here, did you notice that in pot B, the polythene bags, empty glasses, bottles, and broken toys parts did not undergo in such a change, and the microbes could not act on them and convert them into the manure. in 600 we are aware about that there are two types of material, garbage in and garbage out chapter is there. There we learn there are two types of material, one biodegradable substances and non biodegradable substances. The biodegradable substances can be disappear, can be converted into the manure, or can be disappear, but non biodegradable substances cannot be disappear, it takes too much time. Too much time, the microorganism cannot act on them, that's why it cannot be converted into the manure. Now here you often see large amount of dead organic matter, matter in the form of decaying plants and sometimes dead animals on the ground, when we going somewhere, that time we will saw many more plant leaves are fallen down on the ground, or any animal, street dogs, and when it died it is lying on the ground. After some days when we saw that those things will be disappear, and how it will be how it will be, because of the microorganism, we will see. You find that they disappear after some time. This is because the microorganisms decompose dead organic waste of plants into and animals, converting them into simple substances. These substances are again used by other plants and animals, and thus microorganisms can be used to degrade the harmful and smelly substance and thereby clean up the environment. In this way they are useful for the clean up our environment. Here our first point from this chapter will be completed. What useful microorganisms, in that we learn about how the microorganisms can be used in a bakery products, alcohol and wine production, medicinal use, and vaccine how it will be used, and cleaning up our environment, how the microorganisms are useful for the cleaning up the environment. Now the next point is harmful microorganisms. Microorganisms are harmful in many ways. Some of the microorganisms causes diseases in human beings, plant and animals. Such disease causing microorganisms are called pathogens. Now the next point is harmful microorganisms. Some microorganisms are harmful. I already told that at the starting of the chapter there are two types of microorganisms, one are useful, one are harmful. Now here we already learned about the useful microorganisms. Now our second point is harmful microorganisms. Now the microorganisms which are harmful for the plants, animals and human beings, those are called as pathogens. Some of the microorganisms spoil food, clothing and leather. Let us study more about the harmful activities. Now in that our first point is disease causing microorganisms in human. We will learn step one by one in humans, in plants and in animals. In this way we will learn. First point, disease causing microorganism in humans. Now pathogens, the microorganism, disease causing microorganisms. Pathogens enter our body through the air we breathe, the water we drink or the food we eat. These pathogens will be enter in our body by air we are breathing, that time it will be come inside our body, water which we drink and food which we eat. They can also get transmitted by direct contact with an infected person or carried through an animal. It will be transmitted by the direct contact with the infected person and carried through the animal. Microbial diseases that can be spread from infected person to healthy person through air, water, food or physical contact are called communicable diseases. It is a most important definition. The communicable diseases. What is the definition? The microbial diseases that can spread from infected person to healthy person through air, water, food or physical contact are called communicable diseases. An example of these are given, such as disease include cholera, common cold, chickenpox and tuberculosis. These are the example of communicable diseases. Now when a person suffering from common cold sneezes, fine droplets of moisture carrying thousands of viruses are spread in air. The virus may enter in our body of a healthy person while breathing. Now it is a most important point. Nowadays we are suffering from the COVID-19 situation. We are aware about that what type of situation observed in our locality. Now here, when a person suffering from the common cold, in COVID-19, in COVID-19 also we are aware about that the infected person are suffering from high fever, cold and cough. Now here also for that purpose our government again and again they are asking for using mask and use of mask and sanitizer. Now here, when a person sneezes, any infected person will be sneeze. That time what will happen? Fine droplets of the moisture carrying thousands of viruses spread in the air, and the virus may enter in the body of the healthy person while breathing. That person also infected by that virus. Now one question will be arises, then how do you prevent the spread of communicable diseases? How do you how do you prevent the spread of communicable diseases? Here we should keep a handkerchief on the nose and mouth while sneezing, and it is better to keep a distance from infected person. Now, how we prevent this? We have to we have to use handkerchief or mask while sneezing. Handkerchief or mask while sneezing. That time, what will happen? Any infected person will be there. It not be releases there the microorganism it not be releases in the atmosphere, and we have to keep the proper distance. Nowadays a government again and again they are asking for keep a distance between two persons, like 3 feet and 1 meter. Why this will be happen? Why they are asking for that? Because when we are going outside, that time we are not aware about that who is a healthy person and who is an infected person. Suppose any infected person will be sneezes that time, and the fine droplets in the fine droplets many more microorganisms will be there, any virus will be there. It will be transmitted through the air to the healthy person, and the person will be infected by that virus. For that purpose we have to keep proper distance, and we have to use mask again and again. We have to use mask and sanitizer. Next one, there are some insects and animals which act as a carriers of diseases, acts as a carrier of disease causing microorganism. Now here the virus nowadays we are aware about that the insects and animals, these are carriers of disease causing microorganisms, and the most commonly example are houseflies, mosquitoes. Houseflies, mosquitoes, these are the carriers. Carriers. How they are carriers we will see. Houseflies in is one such a carrier. The flies sit on the garbage and animal excreta. We are aware about that. The houseflies are sitting on the garbage and animal excreta. Pathogens stick with their bodies. Pathogens, the disease-causing microorganisms, stick with their bodies, with the legs. And when the flies sit on the uncovered food, sit on the uncovered food, they may transfer the pathogens. Whoever eat the contaminated food is likely to get sick, to the sick. And so it is advisable always keep food covered and avoid consuming uncovered items of food. Now house flies, these are the insects which are sit on the garbage and animal excreta. After that the pathogens stick with their bodies, and after when they are sitting on the uncovered food material, that time these pathogens are releases on that food material, and when any person will be eat that contaminated food is likely to get sick. And for that purpose it is advisable we have to keep food always covered, and we have to avoid purchasing the uncovered food items or uncovered food items. Now another example of carrier is female Anopheles mosquito. Female Anopheles mosquito diagram. The picture as shown in figure 2.8. Female Anopheles mosquito, which carries the parasite of malaria, and the female Aedes mosquito acts as a carrier of dengue virus. How can we control the spread of malaria or dengue? Now those are the mosquitoes. Those are carries malaria, and one is carries dengue virus. Then how we can control the spread of malaria and dengue? Now here one question is there downside. Why does the teacher keep telling us not to let water collect anywhere in the neighborhood? Because we are aware about that all the mosquitoes breed in water. Hence One should not let water collect anywhere in coolers, tires, flower plots, etc. By keeping the surrounding clean and dry, we can prevent the mosquitoes from breathing and breeding and try to make a list measures which help to avoid the spread of malaria. Now here all the mosquitoes are bred in water. Nowadays rainy season will be there. Any material or anything will be lying on the ground outside of the house or upper side on the roof also. There when rain will be come, that time the water will be collect in that particular materials, and after that the mosquitoes breed in that particular materials like coolers, tires, flower plot will be there. And for that purpose what we have to do, we have to keep surrounding clean and dry. That can prevent the mosquitoes from breeding. For that purpose we have to clean up our environment again and again, and our surrounding also again and again. For that purpose what will be happen, the mosquitoes, it will be prevent the mosquitoes from breeding. And try to make a list measures which help to avoid the spread of malaria. The spread of malaria. Up to this today, up to this we will see, remaining part we will see in the next period.